I was staying at the YMCA in downtown Calgary when I picked up the newspaper and found a job posting for laborer in the Turner Valley gas plant. When I left Gracefield, Quebec, 2 weeks earlier, I had planned to go pick fruit in the Okanagan. But I was out of money. A few years later, I was married, had a daughter, and was working my way up the corporate ladder. I wanted to be the boss, and 3 martini lunches, money, power, and prestige were all that mattered. But I was living 3 separate lives: as a husband and father, a gas plant operator, and a gay man at one of the 2 bars I could go to in Calgary. As a French, Irish, Catholic in the early 80s, you just didn't tell people. You learned to compartmentalize your life. Eventually, I realized that I couldn't be everything, got divorced, and traveled around North America having a good time. Over the next few years, I heard about HIV and AIDS, but it wasn't until a close friend was diagnosed that I thought I should get an HIV test. Jerry, you are HIV positive, and I have made an appointment for you at the Southern Alberta Clinic. I don't remember anything else he said. All I knew was that I would die soon, and 6 weeks later that was confirmed when they said you have 3 to 5 years to live. 5 months later, I got called into the Human Resources office at work, and it was pretty clear what was going to happen. I had been drinking a 40-pounder of hard alcohol a day since my diagnosis, and my work performance had suffered. But I was convinced that I had been found out. I thought they knew I was HIV positive, and driving away from the plant, that felt worse than being fired. The next few weeks were an alcoholic blur, but eventually I realized I needed to do something to pay the bills, and I called my social worker at the Southern Alberta Clinic. I would have loved to have been a fly on the boardroom wall that afternoon for the conversation he had with my company, because the next morning they reinstated me and put me on long-term disability. I was terrified of getting sick and wasting away in the hospital with everyone knowing my HIV diagnosis. So if I was going to die, it was going to be on my terms. But I didn't have the guts to put a gun to my head. Alcohol would have to do it for me. I didn't leave the house. I didn't eat. I didn't drink anything but alcohol. Until one morning I woke up soaking wet on the bathroom floor after passing out in the shower. Lying there, I asked myself, is this how you want to die? I called a friend to take me to the hospital. The detox was terrible, and one night, a few days later, as I was crying in the middle of the night, a nurse came in and held my hand. She came back the next morning with a piece of paper, with the phone number and address, and the name Frontrunners. Over the last 25 years, AA has helped sobriety become the cornerstone of everything I have. Early on, I met people who wanted to start a group at AIDS Calgary for those who were too sick to attend other meetings. I started going to Friday lunches, and as soon as I walked in the room, I was no longer alone. Everyone knew, everyone was positive, everybody was willing to talk. I need those friends, mentors, acquaintances to stay sober, to live, and they will always be a part of me. They have driven me throughout the years in my advocacy roles I have played. There were times when I attended 8 funerals a month. The candle at the agency was always lit, and I still carry the trauma of those days with me. I used to wonder, how come I'm still here? But now I know. I have more to do. God has something else for me. Every day on my gratitude list, I start with, I am sober, I am alive, and I'm loved.